Growth management offers a series of incentives and disincentives to better align milk production growth with demand growth. The Dairy Together Coalition of Farmers, Farm Groups, and dairy industry stakeholders is pushing this plan to be included in the upcoming Farm Bill. By implementing the Dairy Revitalization Plan, we can ensure that Wisconsin remains America's dairy land for generations to come. Learn more at dairytogether.com.
Protect mom's assets, protect your assets. Call Kraus Estate Planning, estateplanningpeople.com.
Your trusted and relevant source for news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
Approaching 1 o'clock, it's 78 degrees. Sunny, hazy, clouds later on and a high of 85, mostly cloudy tonight, and a low of 66. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Greg Matzik. 4 UW-Madison students from our area are among 6 roommates who ran from their burning house after a suspected arson fire off campus.
I woke up to my roommates yelling, get out, there's a fire.
Carly Lehman, junior nursing student from Franklin, is grateful everyone got out safely, but she's lost nearly everything.
Smoke damage to all of our things. We weren't able to take much from the house.
Carly and her roommates have struggled to find a place to stay for the rest of the school year, but despite these tough times, she is not planning to miss the Alabama football game this weekend.
I'm not sure what I'll wear yet because I don't have my clothes, but I'll be there.
Vince Vetrano, WTMJ News.
Madison police report they have a person of interest in custody connected to a dumpster fire around the same time near the home. It's believed it could be related to the house fire. Housing Authority of the City of Milwaukee is facing a lawsuit from its residents concerning deteriorating living conditions over the years. Hackham met with residents Wednesday for the first time in 8 months. After the meeting, Director Willie Hines Jr. said he has no plans to step down from his position.
I'm committed to continuing my efforts and working with HUD to address the corrective action plans. I do not anticipate resigning, and neither do I anticipate retirement. I have many working years ahead of me.
Class action lawsuit filed against Hackham claims residents at College Court on the city's south side have been dealing with a bedbug infestation for over 5 years. The Wisconsin Supreme Court will hear a lawsuit to determine whether the state's top election official can keep her job. Megan Wolf is the administrator of the Wisconsin Elections Commission. Senate Republicans voted to fire Wolf in September of 23. Attorney General Josh Kaul sued to challenge that vote, causing Republican leaders to claim their vote to fire Wolf was symbolic. A Dane County Circuit judge ruled in January that Wolf is legally serving as administrator of the Elections Commission since the commission deadlocked on whether to reappoint her. It's unlikely that the court will rule before November 5th. And get out your bows. The Wisconsin archery and crossbow deer hunting season begins Saturday.
More than half of Wisconsin hunters are archers.
Many of Wisconsin deer hunters are looking to expand their hunting opportunities. And the DNR's Jeff Pritzel says hunters will have plenty of chances, what with the gun season opening as late as it can in November. What that amounts to is what we call the early archery season between now and the gun season. It will be about a week longer than it is in some years and providing more opportunity. Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Everything in the green this afternoon. The Dow currently up about 197 points at 41,059. The NASDAQ is up about 198 points at 17,595. S&P 500 up nearly 50 points at 5598. Get an honest opinion of where you stand financially and where you're heading. Work with a fee-only fiduciary and begin the process at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Siding Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 1:02.
This report is sponsored by Uline. Visit uline.com today.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hard-working partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
Vince Vitrano here for Connect Chiropractic. Add a chiropractic screening to your kid's back-to-school checklist. Reed came to Connect Chiro at just 9 years old. Sleep issues, headaches, getting sick all the time. I talked with his mom. He's now getting better sleep, better attendance at school, better health since she put her son in the care of Dr. Alex Young and his team. Great for kids because these docs use a special tool for all the adjustments. No twisting, no cracking, no popping. In Delafield and Wauwatosa, Go Connect Chiro. That's GoConnectChiro.com.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Have you heard? You can listen to your favorite news podcasts ad-free. Good news. With Amazon Music, you have access to the largest catalog of ad-free top podcasts included with your Prime membership. Enjoy shows like The Daily, Up First and Consider This, available ad-free on Amazon Music. To start listening, download the Amazon Music app for free or go to amazon.com/ad-free. That's amazon.com/ad-free to catch up on the latest episodes without the ads.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office. One call, that's all sports desk. Packers head coach Matt LaFleur has not yet shut the door on the idea of Jordan Love playing Sunday in against the Indianapolis Colts.
I'd say it's pretty open. He's doing a nice job. He's spending a lot of time in the training room. But at the same time, like I told you guys, he's got to be cleared. We got to feel like he can protect himself. And he's got to be confident enough to go out there and do that. Until that happens, then we're not even going to think about that.
Love, the only member of the Packers not practicing today as he continues to rehab a knee injury. Brewers go for a series win tonight over the Giants in San Francisco. Our coverage gets underway at 8:10. Brewers begin the day with a magic number of 8 to clinch the NL Central Division. Check out your roads here. WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic Update. Just a slight tap on the brakes here. Eastbound 94. It's going to cost you about a 2-minute delay. Highway 16 to the Zoo interchange. It is a pretty long stretch. You had a vehicle that was out of traffic and disabled on the side of the road near Moreland Road. That is now free. Things should be opening up a little bit more as you pass through that area. Typical delays through construction zones. Southbound 43. Brown Deer to downtown and going back north, about a 2-minute delay both directions. 894 westbound Mitchell to the Hill, that's going to run you 9 as you're on the brakes in that stretch. Normally a 6-minute ride. Sunny, hazy, and cloudy eventually, a high of 85 today. Some filtered sunshine tomorrow with a high of 78. Partly cloudy, your high on Saturday with a high of 78. Right now in Madison, it's 76 degrees. Green Bay, 74. Waukesha, 78, and 78 at the Avenue. I'm Greg Natzik. Siding Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 1:06.
65,498 square miles. We've got a lot to cover, so let's get to it. This is Spanning the State, and here are your hosts, Kristen Bry and Brian Noonan.
Good afternoon. Coming up today, all right, your dream Frank Lloyd Wright house is ready to be assembled. Yes, plans based on the iconic Wisconsin-born architect's work are now being sold as DIY kits. So we're going to be talking to the architect and designer who created the kits coming up at 1:35. Then who gets to own the word, well, 2 beer companies are battling it out over that word that we just happened to say on the daily on accident.
Exactly. Then we will spin the state going to Mosney, Wausau, and Racine. We are going to talk about carnival food, not just at carnivals, but perhaps year-round at a new place in Milwaukee. And would you rather look like someone notorious or share a name with someone notorious? Then, could fascism and autocracy be coming to America? Well, a history professor who studies this and has studied it for years is giving a big presentation tonight, and we will, or tomorrow in Madison. We will hear from her to see what's up.
Both tonight and actually tonight's in Fox Point.
Okay.
And then it's also in Madison. So
there we
go. So there you go. But first, are you a sports documentary guy, Brian?
I I like sports documentaries actually more than watching sporting events, to be honest with you. There's something, I don't know, I just find it very interesting.
I'm a big 30 for 30 person. I think
like
just the storytelling. I mean, because I think that's part of why we love sports. It's not just who wins or loses. Right. It's the narratives and the characters and the rivalries and all of the stories that come out of sports.
Yeah, things that you didn't know and things that behind the scenes kind of intrigue sometimes, depending on what the story is. So now this particular documentary that you're bringing up will make me feel old because you were not around on this planet when this happened.
I was not born yet in the 1982 Milwaukee Brewers World Series run.
That's right.
My brother was a newborn.
Well, I'm sure we have a lot of people listening who were around in 1982.
Yes.
And remember the Brewers run and how the season started very weak. And then, due to a managerial change, things turned around. All of a sudden, they're tied for first at the All-Star break. They make it to the World Series, take it to Game 7. I don't want to.
So you remember? Were you a big enough sports fan back then that you were watching?
Yes.
You remember the series?
I do remember this because even though I didn't watch baseball nonstop, I watched the World Series.
Okay.
And I remember, guys like Robin Yount, Paul Molitor. Those were big. It didn't matter where you were.
Yeah.
If you knew baseball, you knew these guys' names. Raleigh Fingers with the big mustache, the whole nine. So yeah, everybody. I remember it. I don't remember the specifics of Game 7. I remember that the Brewers didn't win.
Yeah.
I'm not spoiling
That's
it for
written
anybody.
in the history books.
Yeah, that's not. Why did you? I had it taped. I was going to watch it, but there's a new documentary called A Bit Outside, and it just a bit outside. Its director is going to join us. Sean Hanisch is from Brookfield. He went to UW-Madison. He's directed a number of films, commercials, television shows, and we're going to find out what made this team so special, not only because they went to the World Series, but because of the time in Milwaukee that this was happening, what was going on in the city, what was going on with this team that was made up of not only a lot of potential and future Hall of Famers, but a group of characters that you don't really see too much anymore.
Oh, that's an interesting point.
Really big personalities. And just before, if you get a chance, go watch the trailer before you hear the interview, because
A Bit Outside.
A Bit Outside. Just a bit outside.
Just a bit outside.
Just
okay.
a bit outside. And we're talking about it because it's opening at Marcus Theaters across the state tomorrow. So we will do that when we come back here on Spanning the State.
Your daily appointment for all things Brewers. From every angle, this is Brewers 360.
Look, this is not put the ball in the hands of Giannis at the end of a game. In baseball, it's got to be up and down the lineup.
Every day at 7:45 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
This is the show right now, and the competition's pretty stiff.
Sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited and Holiday Automotive.
I love where your head is right there, so we can definitely come up with some fun ideas for sure.
Oh, be careful, Matt. No, you just
you opened
up Pandora's box here.
Frank Daniels, our Madison Goldsmith, has an idea.
Bring him in.
Hey, Rick. Hey, Sarah. Hi, Monica.
It's great to see you, Frank. What's your idea?
It's a new company policy.
Let's hear it.
You know the world-famous Kessler's warranty?
If you bought it at Kessler's, it's guaranteed. It's just that simple. Even if you lose a diamond, including the center stone, we'll replace it. All maintenance is free forever. Yes, it really is that miraculous.
Every time I hear that warranty, it blows my mind.
I propose we have a jewelry cleaning policy that's as amazing as that warranty.
What would it say?
Bring us your jewelry and we will professionally clean it. While you wait, for free. You can come in as often as you want, and we don't care where you bought your jewelry. The only thing that matters is that you want it to look amazing again. We want that too.
I vote yes.
I vote yes. I vote yes. The motion carries.
Congratulations, Frank. Your idea is now company policy.
For the location of the Kesslers nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
loyalty, family. Few things are more important. This is WTMJ Steve Scafidi. Yet another strong storm rolled through Oak Creek in South Milwaukee, causing actual damage at my house. Thankfully, I knew exactly what to do. I called my friends Jeff and Jake at Loyal Family Renovations, and Jeff came by to assess the damage. If your home has suffered storm damage, don't leave it up to the out-of-towners. Loyal Family is family-owned, and the loyalty belongs to their customers. Contact them today for a free damage inspection, and they'll help make your home remodeling dreams a reality. LoyalFamilyRenovations.com.
Everybody loves their hometown team, but there is something different in Milwaukee.
Don Sutton said it best. He said every player should have the privilege of playing in Milwaukee.
Welcome
Every
back
player should.
Yeah, there you go. Welcome back to Spin the State. I'm Kristen Bry.
I'm Brian Noonan. We know that if you're following the Brewers, and how can't you be, they are having a great season this year. They're sitting in first place in the NL Central. Well, in 1982, they had a pretty good season as well, making it all the way to Game 7 of the World Series versus the Cardinals. That game didn't end well for the Brewers, despite having a team that featured several future Hall of Famers, including Robin Yount, Ted Simmons, and Raleigh Fingers. It was a wild year for the team because after a slow start to the season, management change proved to be just what the team needed. A new documentary focusing on Harvey's Wallbangers and the 1982 season premiered last night in Waukesha. Just a Bit Outside is the name of the film. It's going to open at Marcus Theaters statewide on Friday. Brookfield native and UW-Madison alum Sean Hanisch is here. He directed the film. We're glad to have you here. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thanks so much for having me on.
So let's start with this. What made the 82 Brewers worthy of a documentary?
Well, I think you have to start with the fact that the players themselves were such characters. Okay. I mean, you had Gorman Thomas, who would run through walls and hit home runs. Had the amazing hitter Cecil Cooper. You had 5 Hall of Famers on that team on the field. You had 2 more Hall of Famers in the owner Bud Selig and, of course, our beloved Bob Uecker. Yeah. So I mean, you already had these. We didn't know it at the time, but we all knew we had something special going on there.
And so, as far as for the trailer, a town that needed a team that needed a town, what was the dynamic that both needed each other when you think about 1982 Milwaukee?
Well, it's kind of incredible that, that team came along at that time, because I was 14 years old in 82. So I was young, but I drove by the factories. So there were no cars in the parking lot. I had heard on the news that, Schlitz had closed. I mean, the beer that made Milwaukee famous. Yeah. So you had these, it was a rough time, it's the very early 80s. And this team came along. It had been building up. It started, actually finally had a winning record in the late 70s and 78. And they kept accumulating players, and they kept growing together. And in 82, it all coalesced when Harvey Keene took over. Mm-hmm. And then, so when the town was down, the team came and lifted them up. But then when we lost the 7th game of the World Series, devastating for all of us, and devastating, for the players themselves. The town came along and threw them a parade that was bigger than in St. Louis, the team that won.
Wow. All right, so you mentioned all these characters on this team, guys with outsized personalities. Then you bring Harvey Keene in. He takes over, and he's able to manage all those personalities, which you don't really see in sports today. What made that situation so unique that he could take all these guys who, according to the trailer, were pretty wild, and get them on the straight and narrow to win that to get that far?
Well, I mean, they had a good coach in Buck Rogers, but he was overmanaging the team. He was changing the lineup every day. He was pulling a starting pitcher to pitch in relief, and so the team didn't respond. They're a group of really veteran players. They knew how to go out and do it. So when they brought Harvey Keene in, he's a local legend. He played high school ball in Milwaukee. He played at Madison. He was a batting champion for the Tigers. They all really respected him, and he had been around for a decade. And they say he was like Dad. He just rode in the lineup every day and let the guys play. He just said, "Do your best, guys. Go out there and knock them dead. You know how to play." He gave a lot of trust back to the players. So I think it was, It was the chemistry. It was the last drop in the chemistry that team needed. And man, they took off. I think they were 25 games above 500 after in the regular season. And of course, they went all the way to the seventh game of the World Series.
And so, obviously, as you mentioned, if you think about this as a director, you think about this as a movie. The characters are there. We've just established that. Yeah. There also needs to be plot points, right? Like twists and turns in what the season was and what the story you're going to be telling is going to unveil. And so, what were some of those obstacles?
No, exactly. A great way to put it. Exactly. No, when you're looking at a movie, you think about the twists and turns and the plot points, as you say. I mean, the first plot point obviously was expectations were high. This team had made the playoffs for the first time at the end of '81, and they fell flat on their faces. They were below 500. They were in 6th place out of a 7-team division, and then Harvey takes over.
Yeah.
And the rest of the summer was, I mean, it's incredible. You go to the ballpark and you just expected to win, and we won almost all the time. Then you get down to this last stretch run, and Raleigh Fingers gets hurt. And nobody knows that it's a season-ending injury than Raleigh himself.
Oh.
And so he dresses every day, and we're like, when's Raleigh coming back? When's Raleigh coming? He's the best reliever in the history of baseball. And so you've got this, and all of a sudden the team... We go down to the last 4 games of the season at Baltimore, only need to win 1 to clinch the division and go to the American League Championship Series. Lose the doubleheader on Friday, lose the game on Saturday. It comes down to a winner-take-all game that Sunday. We pull it out. And then we go to California. First, American League Championship Series in the history of this team. They lose the first 2 games. They come out flat. As Robin says, we went flat for the 2 biggest games of our lives. And then they come home. They get some home cooking, the home crowd. No team had ever come back from a 2-0 deficit in baseball history up to that point.
Wow.
And so they come back home. They win Friday. They win Saturday. They're down by 1 run in the 7th inning, bottom of the 7th inning of Game 5. And Cecil Cooper gets that hit. And we hold on to win 4-3, and the city explodes. And then we go to the World Series, and the ups and downs of that, and the challenges there. And we're winning in Game 7 of the World Series, going to the bottom of the 6th. And Ted Simmons says, at that point, in my mind, I said, we're going to win the World Series. And then there's a key play that happens. Then baseball happens. And, anyway, that's it. And then the challenge at the end, you're like, oh, we've lost. And the players are like, Bud Selig's on the plane. He's like, hey, listen, they want to have a parade for us tomorrow. I apologize. I'm so sorry. Nobody will show up. And everybody showed up.
Wow. So you could, if you were trying to make this story up, you couldn't have made it up any better than what actually happened.
No, you can't.
It's amazing. You had a lot of access. Was it a challenge to get as many players as you got, not only in the film, but to attend the premiere last night? Did the Brewers cooperate? How was the process of actually getting this made?
Well, it started with Gorman Thomas. Gorman and Kelly Call, who's a producer on the film, and he and I are both from the area, and always revered the 82 team like all of us who lived it do, and even those who didn't live it do. It started with Gorman, and Gorman, we talked to the Brewers, and especially Tyler Barnes, head of communications, who was amazing, and the Brewers were on board, and Gorman started introducing us to the players one by one, and we did a pre-interview with each of them, and it was a process of gaining their trust.
Okay.
And so, we spent about 8 months, pre-interviewing people, and our first interview was Robin Yount. Robin invites us into his house to interview him. And I was blown away. And the first minute I saw Robin Yount standing in his driveway, I was like, this is Robin Yount.
Yeah. As a filmmaker, you don't want to be starstruck, but as a 14-year-old kid who followed these guys through this whole thing, how was it to not go,
I went, I did. The first time I went, and my 14-year-old boy was like, there's Robin Yount in his driveway. And it took a minute because he's still like, the guy it looks like he could still put on a uniform and play.
Yeah. Oh, geez.
He's in such good shape. And so he invited us in. Could not be a nicer person on the planet then he and his wife, Michelle, they invited us in. They had bought sandwiches for the crew, to have lunch. And we sat down. He sat down on his couch, and I was expecting, okay, this is great. We'll get an hour, maybe 90 minutes. Yeah. 3 hours later, he had opened up in a way and told us things that after the interview, his wife came up to me and she goes, he's never told me about some of the things he's told you about today. Wow. Not in that way. And that started it. And I think, once you've interviewed the kid, everybody else is like, okay, I'm on. So
what do you think it was? Why do you think he was ready to talk? Or what was it about the interview that he said things to you guys that she said that he had never said to his wife?
I think he was holding on to so much emotion. I've heard, we had the premiere last night with a lot of the players from the team. In fact, I just saw Pete Vukovic in the lobby of the hotel, and he said, I remember crying with Robin after the 81 loss. And then I saw Ted last night, and he remembers talking to Robin after about a few months ago, and Robin was like, I don't know that I want to see that film. I remember the interview. It was a lot. I don't know that I can relive that again. And so I think it was two things, and this happened with all the players. The first thing is they are at a point in their lives where they don't care what other people think about them, but yet they're young enough to remember everything. Yeah. And I would say the joy and the brotherhood and the pain and the loss, it all still sits with them. Funny enough, I think they needed an outlet.
And does it take? You mentioned gaining their trust. Was it once Gorman kind of talked to Robin and then you talked to Robin, that was pretty much, that's all they needed to open up? Was there a question before that about what kind of film you were making? Like, did they think it was going to be a hit piece? Why would there be hesitation?
I think there was hesitation because it was Gorman reaching out, and they say, Gorman, you pulling our leg? But then they looked us up, and I mean, listen, Kelly Call ran CBS for 6.5 years. Yeah. I've made a few feature films, and they're like, okay, these aren't two total yahoos.
Right.
Oh, they grew up here. Oh, they were in the stands. Oh, and we would talk to them. We said, hey, guys, this isn't a hit piece. Right. You're our heroes. We just want to get your feedback on how did it feel to be with each other, to go on this ride together? How did it feel when you showed up that morning in Milwaukee after losing the 7th game and saw tens and hundreds of thousands of people out just to celebrate what you did?
Yeah, what was there? And I don't want to spoil anything in the movie. We all know how it ends, but like, what did they say? How did they react to that? Because they hadn't won it all. They, as you describe, most of them seemed like they were heartbroken. How do then they react to people celebrating close?
It's funny, they had different reactions. They had similar but different reactions. Mike Caldwell said, I felt a little embarrassed. We had lost. And Ted Simmons says, this was a horde of people. They think we won. And they all had that. But exactly. Yeah.
They thought we won.
Well, we only have a couple, less about a minute left with you. So where can people see the movie this weekend?
Yes. We open statewide and all around Milwaukee, 7 theaters in Milwaukee, 14 around the state, tomorrow. So it's at Marcus Theaters, only at Marcus Theaters.
Only at Marcus Theaters.
Okay. Only at Marcus Theaters. And so, you can go to marcustheaters.com. You can go to justabitoutsidthemovie.com. You can check out the trailer. You can buy your tickets. And I will say, I'm so thrilled. The appetite for this movie so far has been incredible.
Because you said that last night was incredible, right?
Last night was incredible. Tonight we have a sneak preview that sold out in 24 hours.
Nice.
We've sold out about a dozen shows for Friday night already around the state. It's incredible. I'm just so excited. The best thing that happened last night for me, other than getting the players' reactions, is we're in the theater and people are cheering like they're at County Stadium for every homer, every hit, every win. It was like being back there. It was a magical season. I'm just so glad we get to share this with everybody.
That's awesome. Again, congratulations on the film. The trailer looks terrific. Get your tickets for this weekend, and then maybe Marcus will extend it. So keep buying tickets. Keep going to see Just a Bit Outside. Sean Hanisch is the director. Thank you so much for being here, and good luck with the film going forward.
It was a pleasure. Thank you both so much.
We'll have some more after this on Spanning the State.
An election year brings a lot of different
Thank
stressors.
you.
Don't let your finances be one of them. Join WTMJ's John McCure along with Annex Wealth Management in another free webinar. Expert panel will break down complex campaign promises and turn them into practical insights for your investments. Register for this free webinar by texting WEB to 855-616-1620. It's another webinar from Annex Wealth Management and WTMJ.
We found that the high road is worth the climb, and it's less crowded. At Semperfi, everything we do is done to the best of our ability. There are no shortcuts. It's pretty simple. We do what we say we're going to do because we fully understand that a reputation is never given. It's always earned. It is in our nature to keep our values intact so that when we leave your job, you'll be right there to shake our hand with satisfaction. We've installed massive flat roofs and shingled huge churches, schools, and all kinds of homes from modest to extravagant, all with integrity and pride in our work. And we're going to keep doing it for generations to come. That's what Always Faithful means to us. This is Brad Youngbluth with Semperfi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semperfi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semperfi.
Skilled trade workers are the backbone of every community, and also the Army National Guard. Soldiers trained to keep the power flowing, engines running, and in every other trade needed to accomplish the mission. These soldiers are on the fast track to learning skills that can set them up for success at home with companies looking to hire the best. Their resumes are being built through their paid training and part-time service. Find out how you too can learn a trade profession by visiting NationalGuard.com. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard. Aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
It's Spanning the State. I'm Kristen Bry, and I know what I'm doing this weekend.
Yeah, I know. It's funny. Even growing up somewhere else, like we talked about at the beginning of the show, I was aware of the players on this 82 team because how could you not be? These guys were great. But now to hear the how wild these guys were in a good way. There weren't scandals. It was just big personalities. And so it'll be fun. ABC News and local headlines are next.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. The Idaho Supreme Court today ruling the trial for the man charged in the stabbing murders of 4 University of Idaho students will be moved to a new county near the capital.
After the local Latah County, Idaho judge sided with Brian Kohberger's defense team that there was enough evidence that all of the media coverage involving the University of Idaho student murders could impact finding a fair jury in the local area. Now the Idaho Supreme Court has ruled Kohberger's trial will be held in Ada County, where Boise is located. That's where Kohberger's attorneys wanted the trial moved to, saying people there are less familiar with the case. A new judge will be assigned, but it's 300 miles away from Latah County, which makes the victims' families angry. Alex Stone, ABC News.
Ukraine's leader has been pushing for the U.S. to give permission to use weapons to strike targets deeper inside Russia. The U.S. and allies so far holding off. Russia's president today warning that would be an escalation since Ukraine would need the help of Western countries for those launches. This is ABC News.
Citing Unlimited WTMJ News time is 1:31. I'm Greg Matzik. The Wisconsin Supreme Court will hear a lawsuit to determine whether the state's top election official will keep her job. Megan Wolf is the administrator of the Wisconsin Elections Commission. Senate Republicans voted to fire Wolf in September of 23. Attorney General Josh Kaul sued to challenge that vote, causing Republican leaders to claim their vote to fire Wolf was symbolic. A Dane County Circuit judge ruled in January that Wolf is legally serving as administrator of the Elections Commission since the commission deadlocked on whether to reappoint her. It's unlikely that the court will rule before November 5th. July saw mixed ridership aboard Milwaukee's Hop streetcar. The latest data from the Department of Public Works indicates ridership during the RNC was down nearly 30% compared to the same time period in 2023. Ridership in 24 did see a boost for Summerfest, up 30% from last year. Overall, about 63,500 rode the streetcar in July. That's slightly down from a year ago. The DPW says ridership of the Hop is at 61% of pre-pandemic levels. Decision Wisconsin. The Democratic vice presidential nominee is headed to the Badger State once again. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz will campaign in Wausau on Friday as part of a post-debate swing state tour. Scheduled to arrive at central Wisconsin's airport in Mosinee about 3 in the afternoon. The visit comes after his wife Gwen Walz attended a debate watch party in La Crosse Tuesday night, and the governor last visited the state over Labor Day weekend for a rally at Milwaukee's Labor Fest. Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Things remain in the green this afternoon with the Dow up about 185 points at 41,046. The S&P 500 up about 42 points at 55.95. NASDAQ up today about 190 points at 17,587. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, and Annex Ignite. For details, visit annexwealth.com. Take a look at your roads here. WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic Update. Pretty standard travel times as we look about the system here. 894 westbound, Mitchell to the Hale. You are on the brakes through the construction zone there. Things lightening up around 76th Street or so. About a 3-minute delay as you work through the construction zone. Otherwise, typical construction-related delays. 43 southbound from Brown Deer to downtown, then again back northbound through the construction zone. Otherwise, you got standard travel times across the system this afternoon. Some hazy sunshine today. Clouds roll in later on at a high of 85 tonight. Comfortable low of 66 degrees. Tomorrow we get up into the upper 70s, 78 your high under filtered sunshine. 81 in Madison. It's 83 in Green Bay, 84 in Waukesha, 79 at the Avenue. I'm Greg Matzik. Signing Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 1:34.
I'm WTMJ's Sandy Max. What makes senior living at Three Pillars so special? Let's hear from Three Pillars resident Lola.
When I was new, I come in and sit down, and people join me. And you get to know people, talk about feeling welcome. Art class is first early in the morning. Right now, I'm also involved in being a production assistant with a theater group. Every month, they have a supper club with a different theme. First one that I went to, they had a luau. I am so lucky to have ended up in this place, and I think it's one of the best things that ever happened to me.
Schedule a tour today at threepillars.org.
Moving Graves headquarters to downtown Milwaukee was the right decision for the future of our company. Hi, I'm John Kissinger, President and CEO of Grave, a full-service engineering, planning, and design firm. We wanted to be part of downtown's vibrancy. Our goal was to create a collaborative and innovative work environment that would attract the next generation of talent. I love working downtown, and so do my employees. Experience it for yourself. Go to MilwaukeeDowntown.com.
The U.S. Constitution divides the government into 3 equally important branches, and when they all work together, great things happen. Now, all of us here at Mr. Holland's Home Services aren't constitutional scholars, but we do know how to maintain the 3 most important branches of your home. Instead of Congress, you get heating and cooling. In place of the Supreme Court, you get superior electrical work, and swap the president with proficient plumbing, so you can drain the swamp. Just like Washington, when all 3 work together, they bring harmony to your home. But if your plumbing, electric, or heating and air goes into full veto mode, cast your vote for Mr. Holland's Home Services. Our bipartisan exploratory committee of crackerjack technicians cut through the red tape to find and filibuster the problems that plague your most important constituents. Visit MrHollandsHomeservices.com or call our campaign headquarters at 866-992-1717. We're Mr. Holland's Home Services, and we approve this message.
Mom, meet Sarah.
From first-time Nana moments.
And welcome to Flight 101.
To annual girls trip moments.
Your can't-miss moments are worth protecting against RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV. And there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com.
So where should we go next?
Sponsored by Pfizer.
You might wonder, John Legend, how do you keep your voice sounding so legendary? Honey. And how do I keep my protection against COVID-19 up to date? With a COVID shot this season, designed for recent variants.
You can get your COVID-19 shot when getting your flu shot if you're due for both, as recommended by the CDC.
The fresher, the better.
Ask your healthcare provider about getting this season's COVID-19 shot when getting your flu shot.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
It's Spanning the State. I'm Brian Noonan.
And I'm Kristen Bry. And wouldn't you love to live in a Frank Lloyd Wright house?
I would. They are beautiful.
They are beautiful. So your dream Frank Lloyd Wright house is ready to be assembled. What does that mean? All right. So there are now plans based on the iconic Wisconsin-born architect's work, and they're being sold as kits, like the ones you told me that the Sears used to sell. These
Sears
home
catalog,
kits.
you used to be able to buy a Craftsman bungalow kit. This was before my time.
Before
but yes,
before both
I've
our
seen
times.
the ads. But you could buy it. I don't know what you did with it once it got dropped off at your lot.
That is my big question, because the build kits, they're being sold by Lindell Cedar Homes, and they're inspired by Wright's Usonian homes, which is a concept that he came up with in 1936. So joining us now is Aris Georges, who's an architect, professor at the School of Architecture, and creator of the Imagine series, which are the assortment of building system kits that pay homage to the famous architect. So welcome to the show, Aris.
Hello, nice to be here.
Nice to have you here. So, for those of us who are unfamiliar, can you describe some of the history of Wright's Usonian homes?
Sure. The Usonian homes that were born in Madison, by the way, were one of the many attempts Frank Lloyd Wright made to create a system of design and construction that would be efficiently and economically produced for primarily the middle class. And it started as a challenge by a journalist. He had, in 1936, said, I had a $5,000 budget. Can you make me a home? And Frank Lloyd Wright said, yes, if you add the 10% architect fee, so it would be $5,500. And out of that, we had the Jacob Swan, which is in West Madison. It was the first Usonian. It was so innovative that it did things that today are considered standard. For example, he put steam pipes in the concrete floor to create in-floor heat. He used reject bricks from the Johnson Wax building that was being built in Racine, so it was like a reuse of materials. He didn't use studs except for the roof. He used plywood and paper between two sheets of plywood and created many corners in order to create stiffness, because when you fold a piece of paper and it can stand on edge, whereas as a leaf it is flimsy. So he did a lot of things like that, including exposed track lighting. It was an experiment to create an efficient construction system. And that, of course, became very successful because out of all the different attempts he did to create mass-produced systems, the Usonians were the most successful. He built over 100 of them.
Now, the new designs for the Imagine series, they're not exact replicas of Frank Lloyd Wright's designs. What makes his design so adaptable to a modern interpretation?
A very good question. Yes, first of all, we could not create a replica because it wouldn't pass any of the current codes.
Fair enough.
But there is an ingenuity in the way Wright planned it. He used geometry in a very controlled way, but in grids, basically on the floor plan and on the walls. So there is a method of stitching together the elements, the walls, the windows, the doors, the roof, overhangs, in such a way that you don't even have to dimension anything. It's all based on following the grid. And So you can scale it up or down, or add modules. It's very adaptable that way. It's like a set of Legos that you can use to create whatever form you want.
Oh, so when you buy a kit, what are you actually getting then?
Well, the Lindell product, which is what really is we're talking about today, is an almost 80-year-old product that was developed by Sir Walter Lindell, a Canadian that came to the States in Seattle. And it was a post and beam system that allowed for the superstructure to be put up efficiently, and then the infill walls and any partitions inside were not bearing. So it was easy to change it even after it was constructed. So that system we're using to create the Imagine series. So basically you're getting all the materials in two loads, normal trucks. There's no pre-made boxes in wide loads and all of that extra expense. And then a builder has to locally put it together on a foundation that has to be created based on the engineering plans.
How did you get involved in this project, Aris?
So my experience started before this project with Lindell. I started doing designs for them 10 years ago when I was still teaching at the school. Over time, I realized that the system they were using was very similar to how Wright thought of scaling up production. And one of the daughters of the granddaughter of the founder followed her live stream to become an architect late, so she joined the school, the Frank Lloyd Wright School, and in discussions with her, she thought of doing a thesis on the comparison between the Usonian homes of Wright's and her grandfather's system. And out of that came an idea of let's approach the foundation and see if they would be interested in letting us create some adaptations and contemporary executions of the most iconic Usonians, of which the Madison is in the catalog, by the way. It's called the Madison in our catalog because of the obvious reasons. But so that's how it started. And originally we developed the proof of concept, and then we talked to the foundation. Surprisingly, they were very supportive. Part of it is the foundation has evolved a lot from the time that it was protective of the legacy, and there was a lot of controversy around the Monona Terrace project in Madison because it received a seal of authenticity, and some people thought that that was not the case. It was an adapted building. And at that time, the board decided to put a moratorium on any kind of architectural ideas being reproduced. And I don't think that was fair, because to see Frank Lloyd Wright only on mugs and T-shirts and posters is not really doing him justice. So fast forward 20 years and new board, new people, new minds, and they thought, no, these architectural ideas should be allowed to germinate and create a new generation of designers that take them into the next level. And that's how evolution happens in creativity. You shouldn't be afraid to work with the material that's already beautiful and then add what today's challenges are on top of that.
Well, and that kind of leads to my next question, because I am not a designer, I am not an architect, and so I know in art and in music that sometimes imitation is the greatest form of flattery. But does that idea transfer to design and architecture? Like, how is this usually perceived by architects?
Yeah, I'm probably not going to give you the best answer, but I think it's both and. So yes, I think anybody gets flattered if somebody copies them. But first of all, it's not really easy to copy anyway. I mean, it seems like people can do it. But if we look at what happens in music, when you hear a cover song or a remix, the thing that really makes it special is that the new creator is not afraid to add their voice, what is special about what they bring to it. And so I would say a mindless copy is it's not looked at favorably, but a thoughtful understanding of the original and a new layer of creativity added to it so far has been working beautifully. Ultimately, and this is something that I experienced even with Frank Lloyd Wright's own designs, the clients are the ultimate audience for architecture. And of course, when we're talking about private residences, if it's public buildings, of course, you got the public. But in a residence, really, it's the client ultimately that needs to be addressed. And so far, even in Frank Lloyd Wright's most controversial designs, like the ones that had funny stories behind them, like the Bartlesville 19-story tower was originally commissioned for 3-story office building, and they got 19. And the falling water house was expected to be opposite the waterfall, so they could see it, and Frank Lloyd Wright put it on top of it. So there was always this idea of creating this distortion between what the client really came for and what the architect gave them. But in my mind, all of them were satisfied. And with Imagine Series, we built about a dozen of them. So far, clients write back how pleased they are with what they get, because they get a contemporary home. They're not getting a replica. Yeah. And what I say is that this particular Lindell would not exist had we not started in one of the Frank Lloyd Wright ones. And of course, we're learning as we go what works and what doesn't, because a home is a complex construction project. But ultimately, for me, it's liberating in the sense that as somebody who came through the tradition of the Taliesin philosophy and worked for years close to Frank Lloyd Wright's worked with people who worked with him, it was liberating in the sense that I felt that I didn't need to be afraid to work with these ideas, and especially because they're good ideas. They still carry a lot of water. Yeah, so you really can you can spread them out to the world for making better homes, basically.
Absolutely. Well, they look beautiful. Thank you so much for joining us. This is such an interesting project and a great way to pay homage to a wonderful architect.
Thank you for your interest and for having me.
Absolutely.
Thanks for being here.
R.S. Georges is an architect, was a professor at the School of Architecture, and is the creator of the Imagine series, which you can look out for at the Lindell Cedar Homes. So stay with us. This is Spanning the State.
Phones aren't wired to the wall anymore. We carry them in our pockets. Cars can even drive themselves, right? Technology advances have changed our lives.
That's football legend Emmitt Smith.
Some of the most fascinating advances are happening with the medical professionals at QC Kinetics. I'm talking about natural regenerative treatments for joint pain without surgery or harmful drugs.
Tens of thousands of patients have discovered these breakthroughs firsthand at QC Kinetics. With over 100 board-certified providers across the country, they're transforming the world of pain treatment using your body's own healing properties to help restore your aching joints.
Why would you keep going back to the old tired ways of treating chronic joint pain? Check out the latest advances at QC Kinetics. And here's an idea for you. You can call them on that smartphone right there in your pocket.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Now your ideas do not have to wait. Dell Technologies and Intel are pushing what technology can do. Bring your ideas to life at Dell.com.
I'm Brett Matschke, and you're due for service.
Richlands. Save now during the Labor Day sale at Ken Michaels Furniture. Special factory incentives make this the perfect time to save 35% on a new sofa, chair, or sectional crafted by Norwalk Furniture. American made with your choice of fabric or leather in a style and size to fit your need. Available in as little as 35 days. Can't wait? All our inventory is sale priced and ready for immediate delivery. Shop today and save during the Labor Day sale at any of our Ken Michaels Furniture stores in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee. There's no doubt that a better night's sleep makes for better days, and a good quality mattress helps make it happen. When you buy your new Milwaukee mattress from Ken Michaels Furniture, you are assured of a mattress made for your needs out of the finest natural materials direct from our Milwaukee factory. We make every style, size, and firmness of mattress, and with our factory direct prices, you will save up to 50% compared to other brands. Milwaukee mattresses from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
$1 in today's world doesn't go far unless you're spending it at Griffin. Because for just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. Buy one or a whole set. This is Jim Griffin, any major brand. we'll put you in new tires for just $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. That's right, $1 over cost, and we'll even show you the invoice to prove it. So what's the catch? There's really no catch. You don't have to buy a car or a truck from us. We'd like it if you did, but our only requirement is we put them on for you. Buy 1, 2, or a set of 4. The $1 deal at Griffin. Available at Griffin Chrysler Jeep South, 27th Street and Jefferson. Griffin Chevrolet in the Auto Mall. Griffin Ford, Waukesha, and Fort Atkinson. 5 ways to make your dollar go further. Griffin, the buck stops here, but the deals on tires don't. $1 over cost. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers.
It's Spanning the State. I'm Brian Noonan.
And I am Kristen Bry, and we got a text in from the 414 about the Sears home kits that we were talking about. The kit home from Sears, there's one on Austin and Rosedale in Bayview. You needed to live within a short distance of railroad tracks to have it delivered, which makes sense.
It does, because they brought you everything. Everything was pre-cut. Everything was there, from the siding to the lumber to the windows to everything. And some of these, now I had known about the bungalow. Some of these are monsters. There were 2 models, the Alhambra and the Magnolia, that look like mansions. There was only 7 Magnolias known to still be standing. But there, if you picture a southern plantation house with columns and the whole deal, that's what these are. 2-story, columns, windows, solariums on both sides. It's amazing that you could get that.
But they were
from
just like, oh, you saw. Well, not only that, you like picked it out in a catalog. You're like, ooh, I want that house, and then just everything shows up, ready to go.
And if you wanted, you could flip the floor plans of the houses that you bought. You know.
Oh.
Now this was the most expensive. The Magnolia, it was $5,140.
Well, so I wonder what that translates to today, though.
I was just going to say, imagine what it would cost today.
Because I think, now I have to go back and remember, because I think as he said, the bet for the Usonian homes was if you could make a $5,000 house at the time. Right. And I think they said that what it would be today is over 300-some thousand, which still for a house today is not
that's not
terrible.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
So there you go. All right. Well, when we come back, we're going to spin the state. And then later on, we're going to get to this. Who owns the word ope?
I don't know.
Can you own the word ope, or is it just a state of mind? Stay with us. It's Spanning the State.
Miss any of the truth on WTMJ?
I'm representing the bull.
Maybe there's something wrong with me.
Catch the podcast wherever you get your podcasts and catch up on moments like this.
John, if you wanted to come on the show, all you had to do, you didn't have to make Biden quit to come on the show.
And listen to the truth on WTMJ every Sunday from 7 until 9 with Dr. Ken Harris and Denise Thomas, right here on 620 WTMJ.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Chief Anti-Procrastination Officer Brian Wickert. Most homeowners and home shoppers have heard the Federal Reserve will cut rates by 0.25% in mid-September. Well, I have great news. When it comes to mortgage rates, it's like the cut has already happened. That's how markets work, and it means there's no reason to wait to either start or resume your home search, because most 30-year fixed-rate loan scenarios will now have a rate and APR that starts with the number 6 instead of 7-point-something. The already lower mortgage rates also mean the refi window of opportunity is open for folks who bought their homes earlier this year or late last year with a rate in the mid to high 7s. If you can save $1,000 a year in payments and spend less than that in refi loan cost, do it. AccuNet can also typically offer a genuine no loan cost refi, which makes lowering your payment a genuine no-brainer. Don't wait. Click on the blue button today for a no-pressure refi checkup or to get started with your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval. That's ACCUNET.com.
Time is running out on the Brewers regular season. Hurry up and catch the crew battle the Diamondbacks September 20th through the 22nd for College Night and a Brewers Puffy Vest giveaway on the 21st. Get your seats now at brewers.com/tickets.
Hey, there's free pizza today at the Mind Chef restaurant in Hartford. WTMJ's John Merck here. I love the Mind Chef pizza. Every Thursday when you buy one pizza, you get a second pizza free. Buy 2, get 2 free. Buy 10, get 10 free pizzas, any size, any quantity. Hey, Coach coaches, bring in your football, soccer, cross-country, volleyball, swim team. Have them beef up on the free pizza. Your players will love the Mind Chef's world-class game room. It's big food, big fun. It's super affordable team bonding. Bring in pizza today for your loyal employees and your clients. They'll appreciate you, and your second pizza is always free. Business owners and managers, order now and pick up your pizza shortly or dine in. And the Friday 3-piece dine-in fish fry is just $4.99. That's nuts. $4.99. The Mind Chef right there in downtown Hartford and in Oshkosh. Don't even think about turning on your oven. Just walk into the Mind Chef today for your free pizza with plenty to take home for tomorrow. Check it out, mindchefrestaurant.com.
It's Blaine's Farm and Fleet's 69th anniversary, and we're celebrating with exciting rewards offers for our best customers. Shop anniversary celebration savings on Guardian Premium Flake Pine Shavings. Rewards members get 2 for $11. Buy 4 Michelin, BF Goodrich, or Uniroyal tires and get instant service credit savings equal to the price of 1 tire. Plus, get up to a $100 rebate and an extra $40 instant reward savings when you buy 4. See store for details. Come celebrate and save during our anniversary sale, only at Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Making a move from the home you have loved and cherished for so many years can not only be a challenge for you, but can also be stressful for the entire family. This is Jean Nemelvitz from Bruce's team. Let us help you start the conversation, so when the time is right, we can make the process simple and easy, just as we've done for thousands of families. Let us take you from overwhelmed to I can do this. Call 262-242-6177 or visit brucesteam.com.
Wholesale mulch? No problem. We deliver to residential or wholesale accounts, and we can supply you with whatever volume of the highest quality mulch you need. Nobody around here has more mulch than Erickson's. We'll deliver you a 1-yard pickup truck load all the way up to 100 yards in a walking floor trailer. And if you just need a little bit, swing by and we'll fill up a 5-gallon bucket or 2. It's the best mulch you'll find. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential. Visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection. Our decorative stone is available by the handful for pickup, all the way up to 24-ton load deliveries. And our stone is superlative. We scour the countryside, countrywide, from Arizona to the Carolinas. We search pretty much the whole U.S. of A. to find you easily the best stone selection in southeastern Wisconsin. See a rainbow of decorative stone colors to match any exterior decor. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection.
For over a century, local broadcasting has evolved with the needs of the community. We move past the stigmas of opinion journalism and bring the most relevant news online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
It's here on consignment from over 10,000 nationwide partners. From very high-end, distinctive furniture, unique antiques and original art, to tasteful home decor that can fit almost any budget. Premium home decor priced right at 25 to 40% off retail prices. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Smart interior designers know that what they'll see here is going to be almost impossible to find anywhere else, especially at our consignment prices. Premium home decor that's gently loved and close to new. And what we carry can raise the wow factor of anyone's home decor. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Rejuvenex.com.
And then diving into the stands is Jackson Churiel.
From the San Francisco Bay.
The Brewers are back at the Bay to take on the Giants. Our coverage begins tonight at 8:10. We are your home for the Milwaukee Brewers. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 2:01 tonight. Mostly cloudy skies, a low of 66. Tomorrow, some filtered sunshine, a high of 78. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm John Mercure. 4 UW-Madison students from our area are among 6 roommates who ran from their burning house after a suspected arson fire on campus.
I woke up to my roommates yelling, get out, there's a fire.
Carly Lehman, junior nursing student from Franklin, is grateful everyone got out safely, but she's lost nearly everything.
Smoke damage to all of our things. We weren't able to take much from the house.
Carly and her roommates have struggled to find a place to stay for the rest of the school year, but despite these tough times, she is not planning to miss the Alabama football game this weekend.
I'm not sure what I'll wear yet because I don't have my clothes, but I'll be there.
Vince Vitrano, WTMJ News.
The Wisconsin Supreme Court will hear a lawsuit to determine whether the state's top election official can keep her job. Megan Wolf is the administrator of the Wisconsin Elections Commission. Senate Republicans voted to fire Wolf. In September, Attorney General Josh Kaul sued to challenge that vote, causing Republican leaders to claim their vote to fire Wolf was symbolic. A Dane County Circuit judge ruled in January that Wolf is legally serving as administrator of the commission since the commission deadlocked on whether to reappoint her. It's unlikely the court will rule before the November election. The Alaska Airlines pilot who safely landed a plane after a door plug blowout is talking about the experience. News Nation's Kelsey Kernstein.
First Officer Emily Woodprud told CBS News that she had no idea there was a giant hole in the plane. She said she was shocked when she noticed the empty seats during their emergency landing in Portland in January, fearing those passengers had been sucked out. Remarkably, though, all 177 passengers on board and all crew members, they all survived. Now, 3 passengers on flight, they have since filed a lawsuit against Alaska Airlines and Boeing for $1 billion.
An investigation by the National Transportation Safety Board revealed the jet was missing bolts meant to hold the door plug in place. And nerves are on edge in Southern California, where a morning earthquake shook things up.
It originally registered as being a 5.1 magnitude in the Malibu area. That's been downgraded to a 4.7, followed by a half a dozen smaller aftershocks. It really depended on where somebody was. Some who were in Malibu and just to the east of it felt strong shaking. Others felt nothing in the LA area. But earthquake alerts did trigger on cell phones telling people shaking was coming and to take cover immediately. That created more panic for many people than the actual shaking.
That's ABC's Alex Stone. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Another day where everything so far is in the green. The NASDAQ is up 178 points. That's more than 1%. The Dow is up 150. The S&P 500 is up 38 points. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather up next. Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time 2:04.
Give the star in your life the brightest gift in the world. Name a star after them. This is Rocky Moselle with International Star Registry. For $59 and a call to 800-282-3333 or visit starregistry.com, you can name a star for birthdays, weddings, or even memorials. Over 45 years, we have named millions of stars for celebrities and individuals from around the world. The star you name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office. Visit starregistry.com or call 800-282-3333.
This is the story of the one. As a facility technician installing a new welding station, he knows getting the ventilation right is critical for safety. That's why when questions arise, there's Grainger. Grainger offers detailed technical product information online at his fingertips, so it's easy to find what he needs. Because when it comes to safety, having answers means he and his people can breathe a little easier. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hi folks, this is Hank Albert, owner of BBC Lighting. As the largest lighting supplier to new home builders and decorators in Wisconsin, our huge showroom displays all the finest brands of lighting and ceiling fans, including such top brands as Visual Comfort, Tech, and many more. And our expert staff will assist you in making the right selections. Our prices are always the lowest. I guarantee it. If it's lampshades or repairs you need, we do all that too. There's something for everyone at BBC, including fun for the kids and our famous free popcorn. BBC is open Monday through Friday from 9 to 5 and on Saturday from 10 to 4. We're located at 20th and St. Paul Avenue, across from Sobelman's and Bachman Furniture, all near the Potawatomi Casino. Stay safe and healthy, my friends.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update. Let's check out the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Packers head coach Matt LaFleur has not shut the door on the idea of Jordan Love playing Sunday against the Indianapolis Colts.
I'd say it's pretty open. He's doing a nice job. He's spending a lot of time in the training room. But at the same time, like I told you guys, he's got to be cleared. We got to feel like he can protect himself. And he's got to be confident enough to go out there and do that. Until that happens, then we're not even going to think about that.
The Brewers go for a series win over the Giants tonight in San Francisco. Coverage begins at 8:10 on WTMJ. And your roads. The WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time-saver traffic. Just one little delay. I-43 southbound, Brown Deer into downtown. That construction has folks pumping the brakes. Going to take you 3 extra minutes there.
Traffic is sponsored by the Heiser Automotive Group. Come in and make that deal. Visit Heiser Automotive Group with 4 convenient locations or online at Heiser.com. Ford, Chevy, Toyota, Lincoln, and Cadillac. Today's your day.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, mostly cloudy, a little more mild, a low of 66 degrees. Tomorrow, filtered sunshine, a high of 78. Saturday, partly cloudy, 78. On Sunday, slight chance for rain, a high of 80. And on Monday, a slight chance for rain, a high of 80 degrees. Right now in Madison, sunny skies and 81. In Green Bay, sunny and 83. Waukesha, sunshine, 84 degrees. And in Milwaukee, it is sunny and 79 degrees. Siding Unlimited WTMJ News Time 2:08.
It's time to take a spin around Wisconsin and find stories you might have missed. Here's Spinning the State on Spanning the State with Kristen Bry and Brian Noonan.
Yep, there's a lot of stories in Wisconsin. We try to point out some you might have missed every day after the 2 o'clock news. And if you want more details on anything we talk about, you can text SPIN, S-P-I-N, to 855-616-1620. Okay, let's spin the wheel and see where we end up first. Come on, where's the wheel? I think we're stuck. We're frozen.
Oh, we're frozen. No.
Didn't you just say yours was frozen?
The wheel is frozen?
Everything is frozen.
Well,
yes, nothing is moving. It's Mosinee. Is that how I pronounce it? I always wait for. Listen after the first
Mosinee.
couple. Mosinee.
Yeah.
Mosinee. I always hesitate and wait for mispronouncer to do it. All right, well, either way, we're going to Mosinee. Federal funding, you are cleared for landing at the Central Wisconsin Airport in Mosinee. The airport's going to receive more than $700,000 in federal funding for upgrades. The money will come from the 2024 annual government funding bill. The Wausau Daily Herald reports that a news release from Senator Tammy Baldwin stated that more than $34 million of federal funding was distributed across Wisconsin for safety and operation improvements through the Federal Aviation Administration. Central Wisconsin Airport Project, which is also funded by the bipartisan infrastructure law, will reconstruct a sponsor-owned federal contract tower. I thought it was control tower, but it's a contract tower, and install pre-existing equipment eligible for the funding. Brian Grief, the airport director, said the funds will help Central Wisconsin Airport modernize essential equipment and enhance safety and efficiency. Wisconsin received almost $15 million in funding toward the Airport Improvement Program for various projects at quote-unquote non-primary airports across the state.
There you go.
So.
All right, let me see if I got the... I think I might have gotten the wheel. Oh, there we go.
There you go.
Wausau. All right, Brian, did you know that Wisconsin is a swing state?
You've mentioned it before. I hadn't heard it until you started bringing it up.
I'm sure not. Breaking news. Yeah. But here in another example of our state's importance, Democratic vice presidential nominee Tim Walz will be campaigning in Wausau tomorrow as part of the Harris-Walz campaign's effort to barnstorm battleground states after Tuesday's debate. The Harris-Walz campaign told the Journal-Sentinel that they have pledged to hit every media market in every battleground state in the coming week. That seems That's a lot. There's a lot happening.
That is, and I think that includes like the second gentleman and Governor Walz's wife.
Surrogates.
Everybody.
All of the surrogates
Everybody's
are
out.
This is, we will sleep when we're dead. Isn't that what they said? Vice President Harris started in North Carolina and is headed to Pennsylvania. Walz will also be campaigning in Michigan. And additionally, you will soon see a new national ad that is targeted to all 8 battleground states that will focus on Harris's support of the federal ban on food price gouging, capping the cost of prescription drugs, and working to increase affordable housing.
Very nice. And no scheduled stops for the Republican campaign. In Wisconsin coming up.
Okay.
I'm sure they'll be back.
I'm sure. I have no doubt that they will be back, but there you go.
They're just hanging out. All right, I'm going to see if we've thawed out. Yes, we have. Very nice. Okay.
Racine.
Rhea turned me on to this a couple months ago. O&H Danish Bakery is celebrating their 75th anniversary. It takes a pretty good bakery to make something that people love for over 75 years. Yep. O&H has done that with their famous Kringle and other scratch-made pastries. The Racine-based bakery will celebrate its 75th anniversary with the public this Saturday from 10 to 2 at their Washington Avenue location. In addition to thanking the public for their support, O&H will celebrate by bringing back 4 popular Kringle flavors for 2 weeks to represent the 4 O&H generations. The celebration this weekend will also feature live music, family-friendly activities and games, a pizza food truck, Kringle samples, and so much more. The past Kringle flavors that are going to be featured during the anniversary celebration are apricot sugar, to represent the generation from the 50s.
Okay.
That was when the O&H would use fruit fillings and just coarse sugar on top.
Okay.
The second generation, the 70s, there's a pineapple pecan Kringle, which sounds really good. Third generation represents the 90s with custard poppy seed Kringle. And the 20s, the fourth generation, is represented with a cherry almond macaron Kringle. Bakery opened in 1949 when Danish baker Christian Olesen decided to open his own business after working in Racine bakeries for 25 years. O&H has gained national acclaim, offering 20 flavors of Kringle at a time and making up to 7,000 Kringles a day during the holidays.
Wow.
7,000.
That is a lot. We had some in the studio this day.
Yes, after yesterday's shenanigans.
Case of the missing Kringle.
It's Kringlegate. Somebody stole 10 Kringle, but that's when you got to call Jack Webb in from Dragnet to find out. But somebody did bring Kringle today. Did you try any of them?
I tried multiple.
Oh, I tried. I didn't know it was the pecan pineapple one. I just saw pecans. It was really good.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite Kringle?
No.
You just any of them?
Whatever's there, I'll go for it.
There you go. All right, well, that's Spinning the State. If you want to find out more, text SPIN, S-P-I-N, to 855-616-1620, and we will send you the links to all the stories. When we come back, we talked about OPE a few weeks ago because I was not familiar with the regional use of OPE. Now, 2 breweries are fighting over it. What is that all about? We'll talk about it for a little bit after this on Spanning the State.
Lance Saijon died as a prisoner of war in Vietnam. His memory has been maintained in a replica of his fighter jet at the Milwaukee airport. The plane is now in need of major renovations. Join John McCure in our WTMJ Cares campaign as we restore the plane back to the dignity that matches the honor of Captain Saijon. Text Lance to 855-616-1620 for information on how you can help preserve this legacy to Lance in its full glory.
Save now during the Labor Day sale at Ken Michaels Furniture. Special factory incentives make this the perfect time to save 35% on a new sofa, chair, or sectional crafted by Norwalk Furniture. American made with your choice of fabric or leather in a style and size to fit your need. Available in as little as 35 days. Can't wait? All our inventory is sale priced and ready for immediate delivery. Shop today and save during the Labor Day sale at any of our Ken Michaels Furniture stores in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee. There's no doubt that a better night's sleep makes for better days, and a good quality mattress helps make it happen. When you buy your new Milwaukee mattress from Ken Michaels Furniture, you are assured of a mattress made for your needs out of the finest natural materials direct from our Milwaukee factory. We make every style, size, and firmness of mattress. And with our factory direct prices, you will save up to 50% compared to other brands. Milwaukee mattresses from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
Moving Grave's headquarters to downtown Milwaukee was the right decision for the future of our company. Hi, I'm John Kissinger, President and CEO of Grave, a full-service engineering, planning, and design firm. We wanted to be part of downtown's vibrancy. Our goal was to create a collaborative and innovative work environment that would attract the next generation of talent. I love working downtown, and so do my employees. Experience it for yourself. Go to MilwaukeeDowntown.com.
What's the definition of OPE? Do we have anyone?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. OPE is a polite apologetic explanation. OPE is a polite apologetic exclamation expressing a sincere remorse for using oxygen on planet Earth. Also used to say, wow, excuse me, you dropped this, I need a beer, plus 100,000 other situations.
Good. Someone studied over the weekend. And what do we say here at the School of OPE? When in doubt, OPE it out.
When in doubt, open it out. Yes, as we said,
why not?
As I have reintroduced the word "ope" unwillingly into my my
really?
vernacular. Well, it's just something that you just say now, right? I think I went those 17 years living on either coast, not saying "ope." And now I probably say it probably once a day. Yesterday, Mike had taken Frankie to the last night market,
okay,
and they ended up stopping by Drink Wisconsinly over in Deer District, and he was trying to get her to pose in the little OPE statue.
Yes.
And trying to let us that's a classic one that we have to put up in the house now. But yeah, so OPE is a way of life in Wisconsin.
Yes,
apparently.
it is. And since we talked about it, I've been paying attention, and I do hear people saying it a lot. I never noticed it before. But you might also know that OPE is a brewery here in Milwaukee. OPE Brewing Company and Minocqua Brewing Company are fighting over the word OPE because Minocqua Brewing Company posted something on their Facebook because they are in a legal battle with OPE Brewing Company. They said that the brewery was contacted by an attorney for OPE Brewing Company after it released the OPE, a lager with Big Dad Energy beer. Do you think you can own, remember when LeBron wanted to trademark Taco Tuesday and make it so everybody who wanted to say Taco Tuesday had to send LeBron 28 cents or something?
Well, and it's this is where this is the annoying part of lawyers. Lawyers play a very important role in so many things as far as helping us protect our freedoms and defend ourselves and stuff. But the fact that you can trademark words that we all use, because this happened recently even with TikTok, and there was this whole trend on TikTok as far as very demure, very mindful, which a lot of people probably just totally went over their heads. But it was a specific TikTok creator who her video had gone mega viral, and then someone else tried to trademark that, and so she got into a legal battle. And it's to me, as far as just what sanity tells me, is this is dumb.
Well,
but it's not. It's law. It's the law.
It is. I would have agreed with you until I read that, yes, OPE Brewing Company has trademarked the word, but only in very specific places. They have trademarked it as it's related to beverages and beer, liquor and wine, including hard seltzer, and food service. So I can't go out today and start OPE Hard Seltzer, because there would be obviously a conflict, and they have a trademark. That doesn't mean that you can't use OPE. You can't put OPE on a T-shirt. You can do OPE for other stuff, but just not this. Well, Minocqua Brewing Company had started this, and there's two sides to every story, and the stories are a little crazy. So Minocqua Brewing said it wanted to collaborate with OPE Brewing, and according to Minocqua, they being OPE, wanted 50% of the profits, but they didn't want to do any work to make the beer. Minocqua says we offered them 5% of the profits to get them off our backs, that's a quote, and told them they wouldn't have to lift a finger to help. And they sued us anyway. And you hear that and you go, oh man, small business under attack by another small business. Hang on. I don't know who's right and who's wrong, but this is OPE's story. They said when it saw Minocqua Brewing Company was going to put out the beer OPE, they called them the same day after the announcement to notify them that they had this trademark. Since the beer was only on pre-sale at that point, Ope said you should probably rebrand it because we have that trademark. Ope said they wanted to do it in a friendly manner. Minocqua said, too bad, we don't have time to rebrand. We're going to put it out anyway. Ope contacted them a couple of times, and Minocqua still put it out. Well, now Minocqua has relabeled the beer, and it's just called Big Dad Energy now.
Which is fine.
Which is the same thing.
It's still, because not all of their beers, most of their beers are all associated. They're the progressive beer company, right? So all of their beers have some kind of quippy name with the style of beer that it is, with AOC, Kamala Harris, Bernie Sanders.
This one has Tim Walz on it.
And this one has Tim Walz on it. And so that is their shtick.
Yeah.
Is like political beer.
But if you have Tim Walz on the label and Big Dad Energy Lager, that would seem enough. And again, I'm not an attorney. I don't know. I'm not picking sides because I just like beer. But if I'm Ope, I understand, because the original...
Well, that's why you get the trademark, right?
Right.
And so that you do get,
Minocqua's label had Ope in huge letters.
Yeah.
Like it had their Minocqua Brewing Company small, and then Ope, and then Tim Walz's face of the thing. It's like, all right, I can see if I own that trademark that I would say, you're a little misleading there.
Well, and also, Minocqua Brewing Company has a history of picking a fight.
I've talked about them on the air before with different signs that they put up and different things. They've had beef.
They are not new to playing victim and legal battles. We will put it that way.
Well, I'll be honest. I wouldn't have known about Big Dad Energy Lager unless they got sued.
And any PR is good PR, right?
Yeah, and maybe they're used to getting sued, so they don't care. I don't
legal
know.
funds.
Yeah, they love it.
Big legal fund energy.
all our profits go to lawyers. So enjoy yourself. So there it is. Have you been to Ope? I've heard really good things about Ope. I've never been there.
I've actually never been there. I've walked by it. I remember when it first opened, but I've also heard good things about it. It's a good brewery for West Dallas to have. I think it's a really big, fun environment as far as the brewery goes. But they're litigious.
They're like Disney and McDonald's. Don't mess with their trademark. And I don't blame them. I'm sure they had to pay quite a bit to get that thing.
That's
trademarked.
what I mean. Once you have it, that's why you get it.
Yeah.
As far as you have to pay us if you want to use the thing that we paid to secure.
Right. And you got to give us something for it.
That's what someone for the 262 just texted in and said, don't blame trademark laws on lawyers. Blame Congress.
Yeah,
so there you go.
I have nothing
Happy to blame
against
Congress.
Yeah, I'll blame Congress. I'll blame anybody. I think if I wanted some, going back to that, I've heard of that mindful the woman on TikTok. What's the deal with that?
I don't even know how to explain. It's like so many things on TikTok where you can't even really explain why it caught on fire,
Okay.
but it did. As far as
it's like her describing her outfit or her demeanor,
how do I show up to work? Very mindful, very cutesy, and I don't even know. I don't know how to explain it.
All right,
that's someone younger than us.
As long as she doesn't say, "Oh, Ope, I'm here at work." Don't. While you're holding a beer.
While you're holding a beer, at least. Yes.
Don't do it. All right, let's do this. Then there's more. It's spanning the state.
Throughout history, some people have been born into greatness because of their name or family. Others gained greatness because of their actions. On Wisconsin's Morning News, we celebrate everyday heroes, the John or Jane Doe who had no idea when they woke up one morning they'd be saving a life. Everyday Heroes, Thursday at 6:40 on Wisconsin's Morning News. Presented by Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living, transforming the culture of care.
Any exterior remodeling company can give you a lot of good reasons to get a new roof, siding, windows and doors, or masonry work. Aesthetic appeal alone or just resale value help it all make sense. But I'm compelled to continue to tell you what sets Semper Fi apart from the rest. What you're going to get from Semper Fi is a reputation that is backed by an undeniable stack of proof that we are who we say we are. Our character is guided by a level of trust and accountability which not only holds our teams together, but also keeps our reputation intact. And ultimately, that means leaving you satisfied. So when you're about to make that big investment in your home, isn't that what you want? This is Brad Youngluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
You wake up feeling like you just boxed 12 rounds. Some wake up sweating with sore jaws, headaches, and a lot of our patients complain of brain fog. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula, and these signs, often joined with snoring, are sleep apnea symptoms. And if this sounds like you may have been in a struggle last night between you and this serious disorder. Many people aren't willing to fight back. But the fact is, you can't go through these nightly struggles without ramifications that each night chip away at your life's expiration date. I get it. You don't want to wear a CPAP mask. You may find out you don't need one. We have every effective sleep apnea solution available. And believe me, the mask is the last resort.
Solving your breathing triangle problem can lead to better sleep and a better quality of life. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Results may vary.
I know you have a great dog, right? But you know there's room for improvement. At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we can help. Our attention-based training system uses modern technology to help you better communicate with your dog, even in high distraction. When you schedule a free consultation with us, you will have the opportunity to see our training in action and meet for yourself our happy dogs off leash and under control. Contact Sit Means Sit today at 262-361-3641 or find us on the web at sitmeansitwaukesha.com to schedule your free consultation so you can have a happy, confident, and obedient dog.
You see how I do my makeup for work? Very demure, very mindful. I don't come to work with a green cut crease. I don't look like a clown when I go to work. I don't do too much. I'm very mindful while I'm at work. See how I look very presentable? The way I came to the interview is the way I go to the job.
I'm confused.
I tried to, yes. So welcome back to Spanning the State. I am Kristen Bry.
I'm Brian Noonan, I think.
And I don't want to spend too much, but that is, so in reference to what we were just talking about as far as TikTok trends that sometimes just take off for no apparent reason and just, you can't really explain it. It's just a gut thing of why this was caught on fire. But anyways, all right. So
yes,
would you rather, Brian, share a name with someone divisive, notorious, someone that you could get mistaken for as far as not being liked?
Okay.
Or would you rather look like someone who is notoriously divisive?
I would go with look like, because there's enough ways to not look like somebody or be mistaken for somebody. Because I know you've run into people and you kind of look like so-and-so.
I mean, like dead ringer look like.
Oh, like identical twins look like?
Well, like it's most days come by and you can't go a day without being like, you look like this person, or I thought you were this person.
All right, then I'll change I'm going to change. If it's that close.
It's as close as having the same
name. If
name.
I change my little tiny mustache in the middle, I'll be okay. I'll go with name, because you can introduce yourself, on your birth certificate, it's your legal name. But if I could go by my middle name and just the last name, I could add an initial. So I think the name would be preferable. How about you? And why do you ask?
Well, I ask because there is another Scott Walker in the building, or there's another Scott Walker in the state who is running for election. Yes, this Scott Walker loves unions, thinks women should have the right to an abortion, and wants to expand health care coverage. But it is not the Scott Walker we all know. It is a different Scott Walker who is running for the state legislature. Ooh. And I feel like this is a case where it should be like SAG rules, where you have to, no one can have the exact same name, especially if this guy's already been governor.
100%.
All right, well, ABC News and local headlines are next.
You want to be
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Donald Trump now says he will not participate in another debate this election cycle, even after Harris has challenged him to another debate this week. Trump says Kamala Harris could have accepted the September 4th debate on Fox. He's campaigning in Arizona today. Harris holding a rally in North Carolina this hour. Wildfires have exploded in Southern California, 3 major blazes burning out of control in several counties. ABC's Melissa Adon has more on the bridge fire that erupted in the Angeles National Forest.
We're looking at least 50 structures. That's including homes or many businesses or outhouses that have been destroyed across Southern California. A huge concern. For instance, here at this roadblock, they're set up. The National Guard is here too because residents are still not allowed back in. These evacuation orders and mandates are still in place. They're asking people still to hold back.
Francine, now a tropical depression. It's impacting states in the southeast and Florida Panhandle today. This is ABC News.
It's 2:31. I'm John Mercure. The Wisconsin Supreme Court will hear a lawsuit to determine whether the state's top election official can keep her job. Megan Wolf is the administrator of the Wisconsin Elections Commission. Senate Republicans voted to fire her in September, and then the Attorney General voted to challenge that in court. It's unlikely a court ruling will happen before the November election. July saw mixed ridership aboard Milwaukee's Hop streetcar. The latest data from the Department of Public Works indicates ridership during the Republican National Convention was down 30% compared to the same period in 2023. Ridership did see a boost during Summerfest. And Decision Wisconsin, the Democratic vice presidential nominee, is heading to Wisconsin again. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz will campaign in Wausau on Friday as part of a post-debate swing state tour. He's scheduled to arrive at Central Wisconsin Airport in Mosinee at 3 o'clock. The visit comes after his wife, Gwen Walz, attended a debate watch party in La Crosse on Tuesday, and the governor last visited the state over Labor Day weekend for a rally at Milwaukee's Labor Fest. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Right now, it's all in the green. The NASDAQ is up 175 points. The Dow is up 181. The S&P on the day is up 41 points. Get an honest opinion of where you are financially and where you're headed. Work with a fee-only fiduciary. Start at annexwealth.com. Checking out those roads. It's your WTMJ Johnson & Son Paving Time Saver traffic. Just one little delay as we close in a couple of hours away from rush hour. I-43 southbound Brown Deer into downtown. That'll take you 3 extra minutes. And your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, mostly cloudy, a low of 66 degrees. Tomorrow, filtered sunshine, a high of 78. Saturday, partly cloudy, 78. And on Sunday, slight chance for showers, a high of 80 degrees. Right now in Madison, sunny skies in 81. In Green Bay, lots of sunshine, 83. And Waukesha, sunny, 84 degrees. In Milwaukee, sunshine and 79 degrees. I'm John Mercure, citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 2:33.
Debbie Lazaga here for Kohler Services. If you need a bath or shower remodel, turn to Kohler Services. Family owned for 150 years. Kohler is your Wisconsin manufacturer providing care for life. This month only, get $1,000 off and 0 interest for 12 months on your Luckstone shower remodel. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote, with fast professional installation always included. That's KohlerServicesWI.com.
Bank 5-9 has a mission to make lives better. That mission extends beyond their customers and communities to their employees. Bank 5-9 was just honored again by the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel as a top workplace. That makes 15 years in a row. In fact, they were named the #1 midsize employer in the region and earned special recognition for the company's overall direction. Want to learn more about working with the great people at Bank 5-9? Visit bank59.com/careers. Equal Opportunity Employer, member FDIC.
Do you remember that electric moment when you suddenly realized that she was the one?
The one you were going to love forever.
The one you'd been waiting your whole life to meet.
She is the one.
The one.
Now it's time to find the one engagement ring that sparkles like she does.
Come to Kessler's Diamonds. We have a collection of incredibly special diamond engagement rings called the One Collection.
You need one special engagement ring for the one woman you will ever love.
Kessler's Diamonds is the one jewelry store where you can find the One Collection.
And Kessler's is the one store that offers the world-famous, no excuses, no fine print, lifetime warranty on every diamond engagement ring we sell.
We have the freedom to do this for you because Kessler's Diamonds is the one diamond store owned by its employees.
The One Collection starts at just $550.
Welcome to Kessler's.
Find the Kesslers nearest you at KesslersDiamonds.com.
It is Spanning the State. I'm Brian Noonan.
And I am Kristen Bry. And how does the saying go? Those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it?
I've heard it.
Something like that?
It's been used against me many times. I understand.
Well, with 53 days until the election, the subject of autocracy comes up a lot. We often hear about the existential threat to our democracy in the United States. But is fascism really possible in America? I don't know. Well, Ruth Ben-Ghiat is a history professor at the New York University and the publisher of Lucid, a newsletter about threats to democracy. She is in Wisconsin for 2 events, one in Fox Point tonight and another in Madison tomorrow, exploring critical themes of democracy and sharing insights from her latest book, Strongmen, Mussolini to the Present. Welcome to the show, Ruth.
Thank you. So glad to be here.
So you have spoken extensively about the authoritarian playbook. What does that look like?
It always looks a little different in whatever country it unfolds, which is why people can think it can't happen here. But there are certain warning signs, and part of why I'm doing these events in partnership with United to Preserve Democracy and the Rule of Law is to educate people to what it looks like. And we are undergoing a lot of that authoritarian playbook. One of the things is you want to discredit traditional authorities and institutions. So we have all the threats against judges, against teachers, all the authority figures of a democratic society have to be discredited by the aggressors in order to, who want you to trust only them and their party. And that's a sign when that happens, and threats of violence against people who were not receiving threats before, members of Congress, things like January 6th, that's a big one. That is a sign that democracy is in trouble.
What is it? It seems like the antithesis of democracy, that people would be saying, yeah, this sounds good. A little fascism might straighten things out here. What is that appeal?
That's the big question. And there are times in my research has shown that societies can have times where people feel there's been too much change, the wrong people are getting power, or they feel threatened because sometimes it's worker rights, sometimes it's gender equity, racial emancipation. Some people love this. They feel empowered. Others feel that they're losing their own authority. And that's when sometimes these charismatic demagogues will come up and say, and try and turn the clock back and say, I will fix it. You can trust me. I will be your spokesperson. And these are these times in society when they say they're going to bring law and order, bring stability, and protect those who feel that their authority is threatened.
And so for those groups, then it feels like it's in their best interest to align themselves with this person who's promising something, even at the threat of them never having an election again.
Yeah, and what Trump did that was very smart in 2016 is he addressed himself to white males, white working class, rural people, and who were suffering. And he said, you are the forgotten, but you're forgotten no longer. I will take care of you. He also built a big tent for all kinds of racists and extremists. Remember Charlottesville, very fine people saying that about neo-Nazis. So we're a large country with many traditions of extremism and racism, and he reached out to all of those constituencies. And that's what authoritarians do. They end up with these incredibly eclectic support groups. You have, like Mussolini had, he had gangsters, he had housewives, he had all kinds of people who really had nothing in common except for belief in him. And it's similar with Trump. And he's been able to use emotion and to kind of market himself as what is most wanted to fix the problems of America now. And that is something that in my book, I look at 100 years of these people appearing at certain moments, being very good with images, with speaking, and how they build these constituencies and get people to believe that only they have the solutions.
Other than voting and with the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act and the Right to Vote Act, are those enough to strengthen the democracy, to put one more barrier between people who may have been marginalized when it comes to voting and the potential of an autocrat? I mean, the countries I study, people have lost their lives to try and protest, on the right to vote. People have gone into the streets and been killed by military dictatorships because they want the right to vote again when it's been taken away. So mobilizing to vote, contesting those who want to take our vote away is the basis of democracy. And in this democracy, getting out the vote is very important. I'm always haunted by the fact that tens of millions of Americans don't vote.
Yeah.
And we have been able, many of us, to take democracy somewhat for granted. And that just can't be the case anymore. Whatever you're voting, it's a choice and not to vote. And you're actually, when you're not voting, you're letting others determine the destiny of the nation. And we're at a crossroads right now. And so if you care about the future of our country, and there are a lot of cross-partisan initiatives like Republicans for Harris, these are people who are getting a drive to get people to vote on the grounds that we're at a crossroads right now.
Our guest is Ruth Ben-Ghiat, who is a history professor at NYU, and she is in town for two events, one in Fox Point tonight and Madison tomorrow, talking about her book, Strongmen, Mussolini to the Present. When we come back, we will talk more about democracy, this election, and why you should go vote. Stay with us. This is Spanning the State.
Save now during the Labor Day sale at Ken Michaels Furniture. Special factory incentives make this the perfect time to save 35% on a new sofa, chair, or sectional crafted by Norwalk Furniture. American made with your choice of fabric or leather in a style and size to fit your need. Available in as little as 35 days. Can't wait? All our inventory is sale priced and ready for immediate delivery. Shop today and save during the Labor Day sale at any of our Ken Michaels Furniture stores in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee. There's no doubt that a better night's sleep makes for better days, and a good quality mattress helps make it happen. When you buy your new Milwaukee mattress from Ken Michaels Furniture, you are assured of a mattress made for your needs out of the finest natural materials direct from our Milwaukee factory. We make every style, size, and firmness of mattress, and with our factory direct prices, you will save up to 50% compared to other brands. Milwaukee mattresses from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
Fleet Farm's got everything you need for everyday life. Brands from Carhartt to Milwaukee to Purina to Goodyear to Rapala to Levi's and a whole lot more. In store or online, check out all the brands Fleet Farm carries to help make your everyday life better.
I'm Kamala Harris. Here's a few things I believe. Middle-class families, like the one I grew up in, they want common sense solutions. You want lower prices and lower taxes. I believe you want to just not get by, but you want to get ahead. We must create an opportunity economy where everyone has a chance to get a car loan, buy a home, start a business. And I believe we can make that happen.
Kamala Harris's plan? Bring down costs by cracking down on corporate price gougers. Make homeownership more affordable for families. A middle-class tax cut for 100 million Americans. And make sure billionaires and big corporations pay their fair share so you can keep more of the money you've earned.
Instead of being focused on the politics of the past, we need to be thinking about the future and how we make it better for families like yours. I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Harris for President.
Hey, John Mercure here from my friends at Dave Drake Camp Heating. They know our climate is all over the place. This means your home comfort system gets quite the workout. Constant adjustments need to be made to adapt to our volatile weather. Wisconsin prepares you to be ready for anything because anything happens. Fear not, because for over 42 years, my friends at Dave Drake Camp Heating have lived here too, right by your side, ready and prepared for when anything happens. Spring, summer, fall, winter, even when they all seem to happen within the same week. Whether you're experiencing your next home comfort dilemma now or will be soon, call Dave Drake Camp Heating. For free estimates on new equipment, routine maintenance, or just to ensure your system is ready for anything, or maybe because you have a simple question about your home comfort, call Dave Drake Camp today. 262-367-2820. That's 262-367-2820. Dave Drake Camp Heating, your comfort is their family's tradition. DaveDrakeCamp.com.
It's Spanning the State. I'm Brian Noonan.
And I'm Kristen Bry, and our guest is Ruth Ben-Ghiat, who is a history professor at NYU, and she is in town for an event tonight in Fox Point and Madison tomorrow, talking about critical themes of democracy and sharing insights from her latest book, Strongmen, Mussolini to the Present. And as we've said in the previous segment, as far as how often, certainly since January 6th, but even before that, the warning signs of our threat, or at least the rhetoric around threats to our democracy, and this is what's at stake. And sometimes I think it also can get framed as this is hyperbole, because there's so many people who still, I think, don't believe that democracy is at stake. And so what does the message need to be, or who does the messenger need to be in order for that to break through versus just kind of get lumped into being Democrats are being divisive and using this to run on?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, because one of the most exciting things right now, and this is partly what Democracy First, the cross-partisan organization that is sponsoring me and other experts to come to battleground states, is that just like with Republicans for Harris, a campaign within a campaign, trusted people need to hear this message from trusted Republicans. These are Republicans who no longer have a home in the GOP because it has been transformed into an extremist entity. And I would say, as a scholar of fascism, with a leader cult. You cannot dissent from Donald Trump. You cannot not obey him. And look what happened to Mike Pence. I believe we have not, as a country, digested that Mike Pence, vice president, was targeted for harm on January 6th. That noose on the Capitol was for him. So Liz Cheney, all the people, they don't have a home in the GOP anymore. So they are actually being the messengers for Americans. They have the credentials, and they can be believed, right? So there's actually a lot of very interesting things going on in our country, because one thing, my specialty, I'm born in the States, I grew up in the States, but my specialty is global autocracy, and I turn my view on America from that point of view.
Okay.
And, you know, our bipartisan system, for years, it seemed like such an asset, right? And people would say, oh, all these other countries, their governments can fall. It's so confusing. They have so many parties. But when you have only two parties and one of them is converted into an extremist entity, or a lot of extremists in there, and I'm not talking about just regular Republican voters.
Sure.
I'm talking about the leadership. That's a problem.
Yeah.
So things like these cross-partisan initiatives that are happening right now for the election are a sign of flexibility.
Now, since you brought up looking globally, let's look at Italy. They had Mussolini, but now they're a parliamentary republic.
Mm-hmm.
What does it take for a country to come back? For people who think, oh, it can never happen here in the U.S. If it did, is there a way back? Are things ever the same once you have somebody like that in power?
So one of the reasons I wrote Strong Men was to debunk a lot of the myths about authoritarianism. And in Italy, Mussolini said he was going to modernize Italy. The trains were going to run on time. That's and their equivalents in other countries, like in Turkey under Erdogan. He's into infrastructure. He has huge projects, the Istanbul Canal. What we don't hear about are the terrible economic and, of course, social outcomes of autocracy. Brain drains, hundreds of thousands of people having to flee, or economic outcomes that are terrible. In Mussolini's case, and also, in Hitler, they lost the war. And so Mussolini said he was going to make the trains run on time and everybody would be in beautiful homes and Italy would be modern. And people ended up living in caves because Italy was bombed, just like Germany. So it was completely ruined, right? So there are many outcomes like that. Look at, Russia under Putin. There are a lot of people don't have running water, but we don't hear about that. So I wanted to expose the other side, the true, side we don't hear about because there's censorship in these countries.
Right.
How do you even research that?
Well, there's lots of evidence. You go to the archives, you interview people, it's there. It's just, it's available globally. It's just that you can't talk about it inside those countries. So the people don't hear about it, although they know too, and that's why they're leaving.
They're leaving.
Yeah.
Is there any, this is kind of a joke, but is the idea of a benevolent dictator a total fallacy?
I think it is.
Yeah.
Because the thing about these autocrats is they're remarkably similar in their personality traits. And I did not realize the extent to which they're similar. And
in what ways?
They only care about themselves, truly. They demand total loyalty. And so after a while, they surround themselves with sycophants, yes men and women, so that after a while, they start to believe their own propaganda, their own grandiosity. They get religious institutions, this happens all over the world, doesn't matter what the religion is, to tell them that they're in power by the will of God. It happened with evangelicals and Orthodox Jews with Trump. It happened with Gaddafi. It happened with Erdogan. It doesn't even matter who. So after a while, they have no objective feedback, and they start making mistakes.
Okay.
Putin, and so when Putin invaded Ukraine, same thing. He had all these yes men because he kills people otherwise. Well, all of a sudden, the world learned that the fearsome Russian military was actually completely corroded from corruption. So they get exposed. It's really interesting.
And then how do some of them then react once they are exposed? Do things get worse? Do they tend to disappear? Where do they
get
go?
worse. They impose even more controls. They become more paranoid. And because the longer these people are in power and the more power they're given, the more paranoid they become. So they have purges of the inner circle. That's all. And you can actually predict how they're going to behave if you are, unfortunately, I spend a lot of time in their heads. And you can predict. So I had you can find in my book Strongman that I thought that Trump was never going to leave office quietly.
Okay.
And I predicted that some kind of event would happen, like a shock event, I called it. Because you don't know, you don't know what will happen exactly, but you know what the behavior will be and how they are able to find lots of enablers to help them and how they become more extreme.
Wow. All right. Well, the event tonight, United to Preserve, a conversation with Benjamin Hett and Ruth Ben-Ghiat. Ruth, thank you so much for spending time with us today.
This was fascinating.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
All right. Citing Unlimited News Time, 2:54. It's Spanning the State.
If you suffer from burning, tingling, or numb feet, pay special attention as we discuss neuropathy with Dr. John Stevenson, D.C. What is neuropathy?
Peripheral neuropathy is actually nerve damage to the feet and legs.
What are the symptoms?
Numbness, tingling, burning, muscle cramps, coldness in hands or feet, and problems with balance.
Is neuropathy treatable?
It is absolutely treatable. We can get great results.
If you have burning, tingling, numbness, coldness in your feet or hands, or balance issues, call Strive Integrative Health at 262-307-2133 today for a nerve damage screening. This screening will tell if you're at risk for serious complications and if you're a candidate for their cutting-edge treatment program. Don't wait until your symptoms are so severe nothing can be done. End-stage neuropathy leaves people confined to walkers, wheelchairs, even amputations. The first 10 callers will receive a free nerve damage screening. Simply call Strive Integrative Health at 262-307-2133. Act now. 262-307-2133.
Eager to remodel your kitchen, bath, or rec room? This is Rob Adair, and we're ready with a personal redesign for you. Adair Floors and Remodeling in Franklin. Give us a call and get personal care from Adair. 761-3660. AdairFloors.com.
$1 million. That's big. Really big. This September, Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee is handing out a cool million, and you've got a shot at winning your share. The big $1 million giveaway is here. Just play with your rewards card and you're entered to win. Couldn't be easier and couldn't be bigger. No wonder it's called the Big One. For more details, visit paysbig.com/big one. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Start your weekend tonight with a free dinner at the historic and gorgeous Fox and Hound Supper Club. WTMJ's John Mercure here. I love the Fox and Hounds. It is the best dining value in the state. Your second dinner is always free. Steak, ribs, seafood, pasta, a big fresh salad, any dinner item on the menu, your second one is free. Desserts and ice cream drinks, yeah, and they're huge. Buy one, get one free. So relax with your favorite beverage in the 8 unique dining rooms or on the patio in the woods. Spectacular views. I love the patio. Celebrate a birthday, an anniversary, or just a quiet dinner with your sweetie. Your second dinner is always free. The Fox and Hounds, just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of the beautiful Holy Hill Shrine. The drive through the Kettle Moraine Forest is a must-see. Weekends might be too busy. Enjoy your free dinner tonight. And the Friday Fish Fry is all you care to eat and one of the best. Visit foxandhoundsrestaurant.com. Enjoy your free dinner. Tables are open. It's the famous Fox and Hounds.
I believe it's time for me to fly.
All right, we got to go.
We got to go. We got to fly right now. Wisconsin's afternoon news is next. We will be back tomorrow.
See ya.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth